What's going on YouTube? It is Luke Waters back with another video, and today we have an unexpected repair on the 01 Regal GS. When I brake, it makes a horrible howling noise, almost like metal to metal in that rotor. I don't know if you can tell from here. That does not look healthy. So we're gonna get this thing jacked up, get this thing on jack stand, and see exactly what's going on. And it just also happens to be very, very hot outside once again. Finally managed to get the wheel off, and let's take a look at what's going on. Ooh, yeah, these rotors are definitely toast here. And what the hell? No, hold on a minute, look at that. My brake pads are inevitably gone, so. As you saw, the brakes are screwed on this car. This kind of sucks. Was hoping to order some online for cheaper, but looks like I have to pick them up locally because I need to get these obviously changed as soon as possible. They are completely toast. But that's okay, I've been on doing it anyway. We're gonna get the other wheel off, and that's heading off to the auto parts store. And this side doesn't look nearly as bad, but they're definitely due for replacing. Sound never gets old. Getting that good. Filling up in that E85, $1.82 a gallon. All right, we are back from the auto parts store. We got our brand new rotors, brand new brake pads, and I decided to pick up a little tube of this. They give you some with the kit, but you don't really get a whole lot. If you screw up, you basically have to use every little bit of it. So I decided to get some more just in case I needed it. And I believe the only thing you need to take off the caliper is a 15mm socket. So that's what we're gonna look for. This is what I have to deal with. Dog food all over my tools. Here we go. 12-point work. Good. 12.15mm. And your choice of ratchet. I really like these swivel head ratchets right here. These are so nice to use for doing jobs like this. I'm gonna show you why. Oh, it's so dark. We need some light. Ah! Okay, so you have two nuts you need to take off. You have one right here and one straight below, down there where my finger's at. Like I said, these are 15mm sockets, and I'm gonna go ahead and take these off real quick. And with a little bit of grunting, they will come loose and twist right out. And with the bolts removed, all you gotta do is be very careful. Grab your caliper and kind of rock it which way or another. I usually pull up, comes right off. And there goes the, wow. Literally metal. That is not okay. Like I said, once you get the caliper off, it's kind of hanging up out of the way, but look at these pads, man. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, wow, they're literally non-existent. And this rotor is in horrible shape. Look at this, guys. Obviously, you can see it's very rusty, it's very old, but it is very, very grooved. It does have a little bit of life left in it, but I'm really glad I brought new rotors just in case that these ones were screwed, and I'm gonna be very happy, I think, with the new pads and rotors, not just new pads. So here we have the rotor unboxed. The first thing you wanna do is make sure that the new rotor that you have looks very similar to your old one. Wow, these things are so thick and heavy. Kind of hold it up, make sure the size looks right, the thickness is okay. And to me, that looks pretty darn close. Installation's pretty simple. It is literally just the reverse process of taking them off. You just slide the rotor on like this. Make sure you get yourself a couple cans of brake parts cleaner. You do not want any grease or grime on your rotors. It'll cause all kinds of squeaks and noises, so make sure you spray them off really nicely. You get the back good too. Hey, now for the part I hate the most about doing brakes is, well, installing the brake pads. Go ahead and grab your pads and your lube, and we're gonna start installing these pads one at a time. Now, normally when you do brakes, you wanna get new shims, but I never replace the shims. I've never had a single shim break on me. You know, knock on wood that these ones are fine. But here we are. Here are the new pads. Wow, those are so much more meaty than the other ones. Now, one thing to be really important, brake pads have wear bars on them. Each side gets a brake pad with wear bars, so make sure you get the right pads for the right side. Okay, so now grab your caliper, nice and gently. You want to be careful not to tear or pull or stretch this line. You don't want to cause any leaks. How silly of me, I completely forgot about a step. So when you replace brake pads and you're not planning on taking the caliper off the car, what you need to do is grab a C-clamp. I guess first what you could do is unscrew your brake fluid reservoir. Then you want to go over to your toolbox and you want to grab your C-clamp. Look at this toolbox, guys. It's no wonder why I don't get anything done quickly around here. This toolbox is in dire need of reorganization. You know, the C-clamp is right where I left it. This is just a 6-inch. You can get this at any auto parts store or hardware store for like 15 bucks. This tool has saved me in so many bad situations. Okay, it's pretty simple. You take your caliper like this. Oh, it's heavy. I'll put this through just like so. This is hard to do, guys. I gotta jank them out here. I'm gonna screw this guy all the way in. You wanna make sure you decompress the piston all the way back so that way your pads fit in nice and neatly. Now, another thing I like to do is where these guide pins are at, which is these silver tabs. I just spray a little bit of brake part cleaner just to get them cleaned up. I know it's really hard to see in here, guys. This is not the best of lighting. Oh, there we go. That's numbered 1. That's guide pin number 2. I really need a cameraman for situations like this because it's very hard for me to record while showing you guys what's going on. But basically, all I'm going to do is clean up the caliper and put the pads back in those guide pins and where they go. And I'm going to put the caliper back on the rotor the way it came out. I'm sorry if I'm kind of cutting that out. I don't have a way to record it. I don't have anyone here to help me make a video. I'm going to quickly put this back together and then I'll show you where I'm at. And there we are. The pads are back in place. Put plenty of grease on the guide pins and I put them on the pad. That's actually going to come off with brake part cleaner, so ignore that for now. But yeah, that's what you should look like when you put your pads back in. You got to make sure this piston is pushed all the way back or you will fight putting these things on the rotor. Normally what I'll do is I'll tighten the top one a little bit, and then I'll go to the bottom one, tighten that one a little bit, and I jump back and forth so it goes down nice and even. And a little pro tip when you're putting on your new rotor, take one of your old lug nuts and put it on one of the threads or the studs. It'll make the reinstallation process so much easier, trust me. There we go, this side is done. I'm gonna go ahead and jump over and do the other side. I'm not really gonna record it, I just wanna get this done. It's the exact same process as this side. I don't feel a need to record it twice. So I'll jump back to you guys once I am all done changing these pads and rotors out. Just to go ahead and show you, this is the passenger side brake pads. As you can see, they are pretty worn. If you also go look at the rotor, definitely also seen better days. And one thing that was kind of weird was this bolt, this caliper bracket bolt was coated in corrosion. It was such a pain in the butt to get out. It took literally everything I had out of a breaker bar to get this thing to come loose. So I'm gonna clean this up as well. If you have any bolts that look like this, make sure they're nice and shiny and clean before you put them back in, or else you'll be fighting them again in the future. So tight. It's so tight. So you want to get this thing as tight as you can on this caliper because you want that piston to be as fully compressed as can be. And just like that, the passenger side is done. The only thing left to do now is throw on the wheels and take it for a test drive. All right, guys, just got done with the test drive, installing the new pads and rotors, and I have to say this car stops on a dime. Look, you can see the smoke coming off the brake. I was really bedding these bad boys in. I was not showing it any mercy whatsoever, and this thing did very well stopping. I'm very happy with it. I have never had a 3000 or a W body in general stop like this one does. I literally bought O'Reilly brand pads and O'Reilly brand rotors, and it seemed to do the trick really well. One thing off camera I did not show, unfortunately, was me bleeding the brakes. As you can tell, I don't know if you can see the moon up there. It is nighttime, and I was running out of time to make this video, which kind of sucked. The fluid was literally black. It was pitch black. It was disgusting. I'll throw up a picture of it. It was literally the most disgusting brake fluid I've ever seen, and it was no wonder why these brakes were so terrible. Like, I've never had good brakes with this car ever, and I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm just gonna exchange the fluid while I'm at it. I did not do the rears. The fronts could still use a little more exchanging, so I'm going to do a full fluid exchange in the future when I do the rear pads and rotors as well. The rears were fine. The rears weren't bad at all. Maybe I could do the fluid exchange without doing them, so that way the fluid's done and it's new, and when I do new pads and rotors in the rear, it's all done. But there is one thing left you have to check when you change the brakes, and that is topping off the fluid. All right, let's crack open this fluid reservoir. I'll tell you what, it is perfect on the max. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I don't know if it'll focus. Like I said, it's dark out. This phone's probably having a really hard time focusing in on stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna close the video off here. Sorry it was kind of all over the place. I wish it was more, I don't know, professional. But like I said, I was running out of time. I had a lot of stuff to do. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please get the answer if you haven't already. It's been the Quartz, and I'll see you in the next one. EcoBoost.